There is a kind of music in gathering. It's familiar, this tune. We've sung it before. Or if not sung, maybe hummed along. Or tapped our fingers, maybe just a little off the beat. It's familiar, this tune. And yet, we can never quite know it. Because it is never quite written. By the gift of our shared presence, we sing it into being each week. A new verse. Never the same as the first. All right, let's take a breath as we come into worship together.
We light our chalice at the community center and invite those of you on Zoom to light one at home. Our words for the chalice lighting are by Reverend Kristen Harper. Each day provides us with an opportunity to love again, to hurt again, to embrace joy, to experience unease, to discover the tragic. Each day provides us with the opportunity to live. This day is no different, this hour no more unique than the last. Except, maybe today, maybe now, among friends and fellow journeyers, maybe for the first time, maybe silently, we can share ourselves.
And now let's sing a song that isn't annoyingly repetitive. We will sing our opening hymn, number 311, Let It Be a Dance. Members of the choir will come up to lead us. The words will be on the screen. Please join in from home or here.
Well, I'll warn you, our story today might make you hungry. It's every night is pizza night. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to move. Oh, there we go. Tonight is pizza night. So was last night. We're making pizza tomorrow, too. Actually, every night is pizza night. Because pizza is the best. This is a scientific fact. I have done the tests to prove it. And there's been many tests, as you can see, including test 37, pizza in the dark. Hello, pizza, my old friend. Mr. Gonzalez knows my shopping list by heart. Everyone in the neighborhood shops at his store. A plain cheese pizza can't be topped, Pippo, but how about some pepperoni this time? I admit, not everyone wants pizza all the time. Exhibit A, my papa. I long for a grapefruit. Mama says, think of what you're missing. There's chicken pot pie, chicken not pie. Peking duck, Peking yuck. 5-bean chili, don't be silly. French onion soup, French onion, okay. But how do you know pizza is best if you never try anything else? What if Mama's right? My science teacher, Ms. Buffon, says a good scientist always wants more data. Data, says Papa, you have the whole neighborhood. All right, I'll do it. I do not need to. I do not want to, but I will try other foods. I will do it for science. My neighbor Eugene thinks that the best food is bibimbap. He is wrong. This is our old family recipe, he says. My pizza is not an old family recipe. Papa found it on a bag of flour. The colors in the old stone bowl are so pretty. I can't blink, even though I know I'm supposed to. It smells spicy. It smells stinky. It does not smell like pizza. I do not need it. I do not want it, but I will try it for science. Yeah, it is spicy. Crunchy carrots, cool cucumbers, and I love it. And rice. You are so delicious, and there are so many of you. Bibimbap, you are a taste sensation. If being stinky is wrong, I don't want to be right. This is new. This is exciting. Is this better than pizza? Oh, thank you, and excuse me, but I need more data. I stop at the end of the hall where Farah lives. She says the best food is tagine. You make it by cooking a bit of this and a little bit of that under a clay hat. When I smell tagine cooking, it reminds me of my old home, she says. When I smell pizza cooking, it reminds me of how much I love pizza. At the markets, you can get just the right spices for chicken, chickpea, or even camels, she says. Do camels like pizza? Probably yes. The tagine is ready, so Farah lifts up the lid. Chicken is okay, and so are apricots. But together? Oh, wild. I do not need it. I do not want it, but I will try it. I try another bite, then another, just to be sure. I can't stop. I am a tagine machine. Chicken and apricots, you do belong together forever in my belly. And spices? Show me the flavors. Is this better than pizza? Oh, thank you, Farah, but I need more data. Dakota lives down the street. She's got a pot on her stove big enough for Mutzi to take a bath in. This is my mama's red beans and rice. It's the best way to make someone feel good, maybe even better than a hug, she tells me. So when Papa gets sad, I cook up a big old pot for him. Does it always work? I ask. It never hurts, Dakota tells me. The beans look like big shiny beetles swimming in mud. Well, at least I know rice is nice. I do not need it. I do not want it, but I will try it. Well, once you've had bibimbap and tagine, nothing can surprise. Holy pepperoni, this is good! Garlicky garlic, peppery peppers, celery cellars. It's like a great big hug around my belly. Is this better than pizza? I still need more data. Ronnie and Donnie run the dumpling truck down the street. They say dumplings are the best. First, Donnie shared his dumplings with just me, Ronnie says. Then we shared them with all our friends, says Donnie. And now we share them with the whole neighborhood. They look good, they look warm and cozy, but the best? I need to try them. Just for science, of course. Careful, Peepo, they're really juicy. Back off, Donnie, I'm a scientist. Dumplings. Your middles are so hot and spicy. Your skins are so thin and stretchy. Little purses of delight. Are you better than pizza? Data, Donnie, data. I pull out my emergency slice of pizza and take a bite. Then another dumpling. Then more pizza. Then another dumpling. Dumplings are good, but pizza is still the best. It is a scientific fact. So how can so many people, so many happy people, be so wrong? Well, I will ask Mr. Gonzalez. He knows everyone. He's tried everything. He will know what the best food is. Mr. Gonzalez, I shout. What is it, Pippo? I have to know. Is pizza the best food in the world? Well, of course it is. He agrees. I knew it. I knew it all along. Of course, pizza is the best. Pippo, pizza is the best, but it's not the only best. Huh? When it's cold out, the best is matzo ball soup from Levi's. When I want an extra rich treat, it's Vincenzo's chocolate cake. Famous Fred's Famous Franks are the best when I'm in a rush. Or maybe that's Mrs. Mendoza's empanadas. Sometimes I just want hot buttered popcorn and nothing else will do. And of course, my mother's spicy green Pizzoli soup is always the best. I say thank you and walk home. Is Mr. Gonzalez right? How can so many things be the best? How can science explain that? Pizza always tastes good. Does that make it the best? Is the best food a family recipe? Is it something that reminds you of home? Is best food the kind that says I love you without making a sound? Or is it just something you like to share? I've got to perform an experiment. Time to get baking. Test number 99, pizza party. Pippo, your pizza is the best. Best pizza ever. The science is in. According to my new data, pizza really is the best. But I'm pretty sure there are still a lot more bests I can try. Papa asks, what's for dinner tomorrow, Pippo? How about green Pizzoli soup? I hear it's the best. there's a recipe you can write down quickly.
I think it came off a box of flour, though.
Thank you.
Every song ever written, every song sung, carries in its melody, in its harmony, in its rhythms and its rests, in rising voices and vibrating strings and pounding drums, a shard, a resonating, divine fragment of every song ever written, every song sung. We who gather in this space at this moment are each one of us a song. Combined, we are a symphony, or maybe a cacophony, but definitely music to be heard, felt. Each one of us bearing a shard, a resonating fragment of every song ever written, every song sung.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
Uh-oh. there it is in my inbox again. The email informing me that my subscription to the Babbel language learning app is going to automatically renew for another 3 months. I'm chagrined by this email and filled with low-level shame. Yes, once again, another 3 months have gone by, and I haven't even opened the app, much less made any progress in learning Spanish. I could cancel the app. It would take a little time, but I could probably figure it out. But wouldn't that be admitting defeat? I do want to be the type of person who learns another language, even if it's just at a basic level. And I don't want to give up the hope that Chad and I might travel someday to a Spanish-speaking country. I'm not up for this level of soul-searching, so I do nothing. I'm a Babbel subscriber for another 3 months. I have automatic renewals for so many things. Magazine subscriptions, email newsletters, our gym, our public radio membership. We even have a subscription for coffee from a Seattle-based company. And let's not forget all our streaming accounts. Most of these automatically renewing subscriptions are convenient and helpful. I want to keep giving to public radio, and we do actually use our gym membership and watch the Disney Channel. But do I need to keep my access to AMC? That was supposed to be temporary, so I could watch the first season of Interview with the Vampire. But we just never got around to canceling it, and now the second season just came out. We can see how renewals for services and products have an obvious monetary and sometimes emotional cost. They deplete our bank accounts and add to the clutter of our lives. But we also renew other, more subtle things. I didn't consciously sign up for them, but every day I renew a plethora of anxieties, fears, annoyances, hurts, outrages, and unhealthy habits. I renew the stack of clothes on my dresser, the bags of recyclables that need to be taken out, my hurt because someone close to me doesn't respond to my attempts at communication. I renew my indignation over having a stranger tell me that my singing at an open mic was a little off, and replay the imaginary conversation I should have had with him. I read the news and renew my moral outrage at people who support Trump. I renew the itchiness of mosquito bites by scratching them. I seem to have a renewable source of mysterious energy for things that don't serve me well. Can I transfer that energy, at least some of it, to sustaining and renewing what I actually want to continue doing and thinking and feeling? Maybe I can keep my Babbel subscription without the expectation I'll become fluent and just try to open it once a week and learn a few phrases of Spanish. Maybe instead of perseverating about why someone won't answer my messages, I can try and reach out and renew a relationship with someone who I think would welcome the connection. And I can pledge to only indulge in my moral outrage at having been disrespected at an open mic if I'm doing it in the service of telling an entertaining anecdote.
Yes, we renew things we shouldn't. Subscriptions we don't use, habits we don't want, hurts we could heal. Don't go away. But we don't have to keep renewing our recriminations over our human flaws. So let us share this prayer for atonement. Amy and I will read, and please sing the response on the screen.
Thank you for highlighting me in pink.
I know my girl's a girl.
For remaining silent when our voices could have made a difference.
We forgive ourselves and time we let our fears make us rigid and inaccessible. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that we have struck out in anger without just cause.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others. Forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For the selfishness which sets us apart and alone.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. For the resentments that we rekindle. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin
For losing sight of our interdependence.
we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again. For those and so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled our illusion that we are separate. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again. And now, a manifesto by the Mad Farmers Liberation Front. Love the quick profit, the annual raise, vacation with pay, want more of everything ready-made. Be afraid to know your neighbors and to die, and you will have a window in your head.
Not even your future will be a mystery anymore. Your mind will be punched in a card and shut away in a little drawer. When they want you to buy something, they will call you. When they want you to die for profit, they will let you know.
So, so friends, every day do something that won't compute. Love the Lord, love the world. Work for nothing, take all you have, and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it.
Denounce the government and embrace the flag. Hope to live in that free republic for which it stands. Give your approval to all you cannot understand. Praise ignorance, for what man has not encountered, he has not destroyed. Ask the questions that have no answers.
Invest in the millennium. Plant sequoias. Say that your main crop is the forest that you did not plant and that you will not live to harvest. Say that the leaves are harvested when they have rotted into the mold.
Call that prophet. Prophecy such returns. Put your faith in the 2 inches of humus that will build under the trees every 1,000 years. Listen to carrion. Put your ear close and hear the faint chattering of the songs that are to come.
Expect the end of the world. Laugh. Laughter is immeasurable. Be joyful, though you have considered all the facts.
So long as women do not go cheap for power, please women more than men. Ask yourself, will this satisfy a woman satisfied to bear a child? Will this disturb the sleep of a woman near to giving birth?
Go with your love to the fields. Lie easy in the shade, rest your head in her lap. Swear allegiance to what is nighest in your thoughts.
As soon as the generals and the politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary, some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection.
When Amy and I started talking about renewing our vows, it took me all of like a second and a half to joke about renegotiating terms. I'm a lawyer. So the joke was both painfully obvious and I'm pretty sure statutorily required. It was a joke, sure, but the more we thought about it, well, the more we thought about it. Sure, it was a dumb joke, but that didn't mean it was a dumb idea. I mean, after all, we weren't the same people. Individually or as a couple, we had been 10 years earlier when we said those vows the first time. We'd finished grad school, moved to a new city, got established in actual grown-up jobs, made new friends, had a mortgage, stumbled through the death of Amy's mom. We'd changed. The world had changed around us. Why shouldn't we renegotiate terms? Now, in the end, we stuck with the original vows. They're pretty good. But that renewal, that repetition of words we'd said to each other a decade earlier, it wasn't an auto-renewal. It wasn't Babbel or Hulu or a magazine we keep meaning to getting around to reading. It wasn't pizza every night. It was a choice made after my dumb joke made us realize there was a choice to be made. Would we make the same choice today? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, it's been almost 20 years since that last renewal, and even more has happened to us and around us and between us. Maybe the words that capture who we are together should change too. But here's the thing. Even repeated word for word, those vows weren't really the same 20 years ago when we said them. They sure wouldn't be the same if we said them today. Every word carries new meaning, ever-changing understanding, shaped by experiences that have renewed and reshaped and that are still renewing and reshaping our experiences of life, of love, of loss, of everything and everyone. Whether we choose it or not, the terms are being renegotiated around us. And so the poet says, practice resurrection. Practice resurrection. I mean, in the first 10 years of our marriage, Amy and I changed, became somebody new, understood or connected with the world we live in new, different ways, countless times, literally countless times. We were, in a sense, resurrected year after year, maybe day by day, moment by moment. And in the nearly 20 years since then, more of the same. Constant resurrection, happening whether we thought about it or not, whether we renegotiated the terms or not, whether we wanted it or not, whether we practiced it or not. Now, as much as I like to make my wife and I the center of the story, it's the same for everybody. as individuals, as couples, as families or friends, as neighbors, adversaries, communities, nations, churches. To live is to renew. To live is to be resurrected. Is that good or bad? Probably. It depends, which, by the way, is a lawyer's favorite answer. And one of the things it depends on is whether, as the mad farmer charges us, whether we practice resurrection or if we just let it happen. Now, one way to think of resurrection, of renewal, is the way Amy talked about it. Keep the subscription or the resentment at the guy at the open mic. Keep it going because it's habit, or we don't want to think about it, or because we don't want to confront the question of whether we're ever really actually going to learn Spanish. Resurrection by default. Pizza every night. Second verse, same as the first. That isn't always bad. Maybe the practice you resurrect is healing for you, for the world. Maybe it shares beauty or love or hope. Maybe it's daily exercise or a walk with a friend, two-legged or four. A regular moment to hold gratitude, or 20 minutes to make music. Now, the other way to think of resurrection is being reincarnated into something new and different. Well, that's not necessarily good or bad either. Maybe we grow into somebody who is a little wiser, a little more patient, a little better at dancing or singing or macaroni art. Or maybe we reincarnate into distrust and resentment, self-righteousness, or resigned despair. Because the resurrection, that isn't the point. The point is the practice. Resurrected anger can call us to action in a hurting world, or it can drive us to inflict more pain. Resurrected hope can buoy us as we navigate seas of uncertainty and fear, or it can make us blithely think, blithely hope that someone else will calm those seas. It'll all be okay. We don't have to do anything. Which way it goes? Practice, says the mad farmer. Pay attention to the path of resurrection you follow. Last week, we, Unitarian Universalists, voted to change our bylaws, to change the way we express our faith, replacing the 7 principles and 6 sources that have been the written expression of that faith for 40 years, the entire time I have been a Unitarian Universalist, with a new statement of values, with a theology centered in love. Not everyone wanted that change. For some, the move away from those principles was a gut-wrenching loss. For others, for me, to cling to the principles, to not move our faith into a reimagined theology would have felt like abandoning the idea that our faith is truly a living tradition. In some ways, it didn't matter how that vote turned out. I mean, it mattered to me, but in some ways, I knew it didn't. Because no matter how the vote turned out, it was a moment of resurrection for Unitarian Universalism. No matter how the vote turned out, we faced the same question. Now what? How do we practice our new faith in this resurrection? So now, if we don't answer that question, if we don't keep asking that question, keep asking ourselves what a theology centered in love means, what it really looks like in practice, then it won't matter how that vote turned out. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are our ancestors' breathing. We are the Spirit of God. And I know not all of us are comfortable with the idea of God, but there is this vision of God. Not as the old man in the sky, not as anything like a person, but God as all that is, all the universe, all of creation. Noun and verb. God as the created and the creating. And we are part of that creation. We share in that co-creating. We are the Spirit of that God. Dreamings and prayers, our own and our ancestors, our neighbors and strangers, our enemies. All of that is caught up in the Spirit of that God. Each moment we live that Spirit, which, whether we realize it or not, is each moment we breathe, is a moment of co-creation, of resurrection. We need practice because there is so much in every one of those moments. That is what the mad farmer is telling us. We have to practice resurrection because though we are tiny, though we and each resurrecting moment are finite, we are always tied to creation's wide web. Joy in the face of considered facts. Annual raises the pressure to buy something and the power to prophesy 2 inches of humus in 1,000 years. The temptation to fear our neighbor and the chance to love the world. For fear death and listen to the carrion, for the chattering of songs to come. Now, part of the brilliance of the mad farmer is the way his manifesto doesn't just tell us these things, that they are all part of the same whole, but shows us, look at this poem. Look at the way it is written, not broken up into separate lines or stanzas. No space between the flashes of life and living depicted in its words. It is one great big block of text, everything lumped together. Like life. Like us. Every time we practice resurrection, all of this is there. That's what makes it so exciting, so fraught with possibility. That's what makes it so terrifying, so fraught with possibility. My friends, my fellow members of Merging Waters, we are in moments of that resurrection. We have changed our name after much consideration about what it means to say who we are. Today is the last year, or last day, of 8 years of ministry with Laura Smidzik and the gifts we have given each other. Today is the last day, at least for a while, that we will be in this space. We are considering changing where we worship to share space with a church, with a faith community that doesn't share all of our beliefs, that has a cross in its sanctuary. We're thinking about changing our time, the time we worship, to the afternoon. Everything is resurrecting. We are inviting to this pulpit, well, maybe not this one, a new minister in a month. We are resurrecting. How will we resurrect? How will we practice that resurrection as we move forward into what it means to be Michael Servetus, Merging Waters, Amy and Marie and Kathy and Neil, to be Unitarian Universalists together in this world? I don't know. So, says the mad farmer, Get it wrong, practice. Get it right, practice some more. More often, a little right, a little wrong. Keep practicing. Not sure what right even looks like? Yeah, well, us either. So practice. Practice resurrection together. Let us practice remembering that we are reincarnated moment by moment. We are the Spirit of God. Practice being reborn into the people, the community, the church we hope to be, knowing that there is another resurrection just around the corner and around the corner after that, to begin again and again in love. Practice. So may it be. May we make it so. Amen, and blessings be.